Another day, another news story. Breast implants have recently been linked to a type of immune cancer. They have been currently banned in Canada and in France, but the US federal government has decided not to ban them. In today's bonus video, I want to talk about breast implants, specifically why this type of breast implant is linked to cancer, how it forms, and why the government is doing what it's doing. And if you have breast implants, what you should do, what you should talk to your doctor about, and if this is worth freaking out over or not. So your girl is behind on skin science, but I had the opportunity today to touch some breast implants, which was pretty awesome. And 2 days ago, I read the news live on the internet about a story that breast implants have been linked to cancer, specifically a type of cancer of the immune system. And this is kind of scary. Breast implants are a very personal choice. For some people, they are life-changing. For others, they are a cosmetic procedure that is done to make them feel better or because it's something they've always wanted. The problem is that we expect these procedures to be safe. So far, I think around 460 women have been diagnosed with a specific type of lymphoma. Lymphoma is like a cancer of the immune system or a cancer of the blood, and it has been linked to these people who all have a specific type of breast implant. This type of breast implant is it's more rigid. So it actually feels like sandpaper. And if you do ever have the chance to squish breast implants, you'll notice that some of them are very, very smooth. They have like a plasticky coating, and others kind of feel like sandpaper. If you want to see this in action, they're currently live on my Instagram stories now. I'll also put them on YouTube stories, but they'll be taken down within like 24 hours because that's how Instagram works. The problem is not with the smooth silicone ones, but it's with the rigid ones. And I also want to make a distinction that breast implants can be saline or silicone. Silicone is a really smooth material, and the silicone breast implant is actually like this, and they just tuck it in. And the saline ones have a silicone shell, so a silicone outer part, but they're actually inserted, and then you can actually fill them up with sterilized salt water, saline. Kind of a sterilized salt water. The thing is that some of these, whether it's the saline or the silicone, I believe it is the silicone one that is come under fire, has this rigid texture, and it has been causing some women to have issues. Now, the specific one in this case is made by a company called Allergan. They, I believe, are also the makers of Botox. They are a huge cosmetic, not cosmetic, but a huge pharma company. And they do manufacture drugs, they do manufacture medical devices, and things that can really change people's lives, both positively, and in this case, maybe in a little bit more of a scary manner. Around the world, I believe that 17 women have passed away from this form of breast cancer. Again, this is a lymphoma. This is not a breast cancer. It is a lymphoma. So even though it is happening here in the breast, it is technically lymphoma. And it's called associated anaplastic large cell lymphoma, if I am not mistaken. But again, I'm going to leave all the references below so that you can fact check me on this. And, this is scary because Canada and France have said, hey, we don't really want this here. And the US government has made a statement saying that so far it has not been proven dangerous enough to take off the market. Now, they are considering putting higher labeling standards on this. They are considering black boxing them. A black box is a term that's used in the pharma industry basically to show that something is a little bit more dangerous. And that is kind of the route that the US government is taking, because they're saying, the Food and Drug Administration is saying that this is not bad enough that people should be freaked out. And I agree. To an extent, fear-mongering is not something that's going to help people. And if you have breast implants, news like this can be terrifying. And I feel like the way that news is written is to make people terrified. I even look back at the video I just did on women getting HIV from a vampire facial treatment, and my emotion was coming through so strong that I can see, I was obviously visibly upset that this had happened, but in general, skin treatments and procedures are pretty safe, and HIV is no longer a death sentence. Like, there are medications that can really help to mitigate HIV and, to basically suppress the virus to the point that it can no longer replicate or take over. But that being said, the way these headlines are written is a little bit scary. And then as someone who is passionate or is an empath, You're damn right. I hear about 17 people dying because breast cancers have been related to this type of lymphoma, or breast implants have been related to this type of lymphoma, and I get pissed off. And I want people to know what's in their products and to have these conversations with their healthcare providers so that they know all of the possible outcomes. I don't care if there's like a 1% chance that somebody could have an adverse reaction. If there's a 1% chance, they might be part of that 1%. And I believe that those patients deserve to know. So again, this is, a little bit disturbing. And let's talk specifically about the way this works. Depending on which type of breast implant you get is very personal. It depends on the type of feel that you want. It depends on what your body is suited best for. But the hypothesized theory of why these rigid ones are causing issues and cancer is because when anything is rigid, the body tries to protect itself. Like if you get a splinter or something, not only does the area get inflamed, but the body might try to create scar tissue around it or encapsulate it if it can't get it out. Your body encapsulates these things as a method of protection. Well, for some of these women who had the more sandpapery-like silicone breast implants that were made by Allergan, they kind of seemed to rub around the breast area. Sorry, I'm just gripping myself on camera. They seem to rub around the breast area. And as we know, that can cause inflammation and irritation. And as that's happening, especially over a period of 3 to 7 to 10 years, fluid can kind of build up. As we know, if something is inflamed, sometimes they get pussy or fluidy if it's a pimple or a wound. This fluid was kind of accumulating within the breast cavity. And unfortunately, it seemed like this specific fluid was a really good home to some cells that turned cancerous. Remember that the reason that cancer is so hard to prevent and to really understand is because it's the body's cells that start mutating and going haywire, and the body doesn't recognize them as toxic. So there can be so many different types that it is very hard. And that's why we really don't have definitive cures or treatments that are available to the masses yet. But it is believed that in this fluid that is caused from this rubbing and this inflammation, that these mutated cells start to proliferate. And then if there's lots of lymph nodes here, you have lymph nodes all over your body. Your body has a beautiful lymph system. But unfortunately, these cells can travel through the blood, through lymph fluid, or through other mechanisms and get throughout the body. And that's why this is a large cell lymphoma type of cancer, not even a breast cancer, although it is originating in the breast area. So that's kind of how breast cancer is different from this lymphoma. That's kind of how these two things are situated, and that's what breast implants are like. Now, if you have breast implants, what does this mean for you? If you have regular silicone breast implants that are smooth, there's really no worry. These have been proven safe. Even if you do have the ones that have the rigidity, these have been proven and tested to be safe. So again, I don't think it means freak out. I don't think it means that you should be stress sweating. If anything, that stress is going to be more damaging. Now, if you do have a scheduled appointment with your doctor, it might be something that you want to bring up to the doctor or plastic surgeon that did them. Just ask. But specifically, if you are someone who has gotten the breast implants, the more rigid ones, and you notice that you have pockets of swelling around the breast, and this is like a year or 2 or 3 years after the surgery has been completed, so it's not associated with the surgery. But if you have lumps, even in your armpit, or if you have weird swelling, or even just like small little cysts in some areas, this is something that you really do want to get checked out. Those are kind of some of the warning signs of this type of associated lymphoma breast cancer, or lymphoma cancer of the breast cavity that has been shown. I'm so not editing this video, and it's so late. What am I doing? So if that is you, please go talk to a doctor, because that would be something of concern. But in general, if you have breast implants, I don't think it's something to be scared of. Just keep this in mind. And the next time you do, have a consultation with your doctor or something, bring it up. And remember that for those who choose to get breast implants, it's a very personal decision. And for me, I can only see the world through my own eyes, through the lens of having acne and feeling insecure. And even though I've come to a point where I am confident with or without pimples on my face, there was a time in my life where if I could go back and fix it, I would. Now, that's what's different about breast implants for me, is that I feel that there are people who get breast implants to help with an insecurity, and there are other people who do it as a statement, as a power, as confidence, as something they do for themselves. I really don't. I think there is an association with society and breast implants, but I don't think that's true for every single person. And I really want to make that distinction because I feel like even some of the conversations that I had in person over the last day about breast implants, a bit of judgment came up. And I don't think that's cool. We're all women. Boobies are great. Whether they are the ones you were born with or the ones you bought, you deserve to rock them. And I think that the stigma should really be broken down around that. So give your boobies some love and leave a comment below this video if you have any other insights, if you want to fact check me, or if there's any other medical news type stuff that you would like us to cover here on this channel. I believe that knowledge is power. I'm sorry that Skin Science isn't up today. It will be up tomorrow. Again, I'm doing a video every single day in May. I delete them after I post them, most of them. So if you hit the ding dong notification bell button, you'll be joined into the notification squad of beautiful butterflies and you won't miss the bonus videos. Otherwise, things like these might get deleted. I don't know. What is life? Good question. No editing. That's what it is. I love you so much. Remember to be beautiful inside and out. And if you want to watch the video on facials that gave 2 women HIV, you can see that here. And here is another one on probiotics. Have you taken them? I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next, tomorrow in Skin Science, because I'm going to get it, I'm going to edit it, I'm going to get it up. I promise. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.